Rants at the Movies, a podcast where we rant about films you may have seen at house parties. I'm one of your hosts and jack of all trades, Mono, and abusing her position as a lookalike to get more booze is my co-host and master of none, Kira.
Oh, I'm too short to be seen at the bar. Gotta try and get it somehow.
Well, you'll definitely be seen at the end when you get strung up from the ceiling.
Oof. Yeah.
Although, in fairness, his is kind of the happiest ending.
Yeah, at least he doesn't end up with like a broken name.
Somebody's going to get him down from there and he'll just go back to being a wino. Like, he doesn't have his life ruined like everybody else.
Yeah, everybody else's outcome in this is fucking grim.
Yeah, that's why I made you Root.
Yeah.
But yes,
poor Root.
It's time to finally do The Prestige.
Yes.
This has been on the list for a long time, but I was like, there's a lot to talk about in this film, and I'm like, not qualified enough in any way to talk about this film, but, well, here we are.
No, this is one of those films that, like, when it came out, there was another one around the same time called The Illusionist.
There was.
They seem to be, like, very similar. It was that weird time when there was, like...
Deep Impact Armageddon.
Yeah, there was loads. It was, like, Interstellar and I think, like, Arrival or Passengers, but there was, like...
It always happens.
Trends, yeah. But this one, I think, has a superior cast.
Yeah.
Definitely. We have The Illusionist. I haven't watched it yet.
It's more of a love story, I think.
Yeah, this is straight up revenge and one-upping each other.
Yeah,
and
this is a story about obsession. Yeah, absolutely a story about obsession. It's just, it's so good though. Like you introduced me to it. I don't know how I missed this.
It's very serious.
I love Memento, and obviously then I loved Christopher Nolan's Batman films, and I just completely missed this.
I think this is possibly my favourite Christopher Nolan film. There's something about this every
all
time
of his films,
I watch this. I completely forget that it's not told in linear order at all. It jumps all over the place. Yeah. Always forget that, and every time...
I forget how much... I know it jumps, but I forget how much it jumps.
Oh my god, it jumps all over. There's something like 146 time jump cuts.
Yeah.
In this film. Now, a lot of them, there's a montage sequence at the end that accounts for a lot of them, but it does go...
It's not confusing.
No.
That's the thing, is it's never confusing. Like, Memento can get a bit confusing. Now, that's part of the point.
Yeah.
But, like, other films that do it, you can get a bit confusing. But in this, it's never... You're never going, what the fuck is going on? Like, you have questions and you want to know, but the questions are to do with what the film has told you so far, not, I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, you're like getting information doled out to you the way the characters are, because a lot of communication in this is done through diaries and the stealing of secrets, and they're laying traps for each other because they're magicians, and this was like the heyday of the stage musician as well. You know, and they do reference one of the greatest, like, fraudster. Oh,
the guy who pretended to be, inverted commas, Chinaman.
Yeah, was actually an English guy who dressed up like it, but he never broke character.
Yeah.
It's like the guy that was in Dublin who had the Turkish baths, who pretended to be an Ottoman.
Oh, yeah. There's tons of stories of people just, like...
taking advantage of the fact that, like... Oh, I'm from the, like, Oriental...
Yeah, idiot people in England are never going to know what somebody from, like, Asia actually looks like, so I'll just pretend that's where I'm from and tell them and make up all this bullshit. And you see it, even aspects of that in, like, Borden's performance when he's talking about, like, I learned this from mystics this technique is known to a few mystics in Nepal and, shaman in wherever, like...
Oh no, that's not Borden's. That's the great.
Oh, sorry, that's Angier. Sorry, yeah,
that's Angier. Yeah. He's far more of the showman. Borden is more of the I'm going to do this and you're going to enjoy it.
Yes,
like he kind of forces the magic on you.
He does.
He doesn't have the polish and the showmanship that Angier has, which is why I really, really like Hugh Jackman in this as Angier. Because he brings that theatricality to the performance.
The two of them, well, I mean, everybody's performance in this is fantastic, but the two of them are so good because their style of acting both lends to the characters that they are each portraying, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, especially Christian Bale and his, like, breakneck personality.
And like you just said, Hugh Jackman and his ability for showmanship, like,
and he's very polished, whereas Christian Bale's always a bit scruffy.
Yeah, he's rough and ready. The only time he looks better is when he's got
his little fucking colonel goatee and mustache.
But that's after Olivia starts working with him.
Yeah, and they gussy him up a bit.
Yeah, she's learned all the tricks from
your man,
from Angier,
and Michael Caine, the
Cutter,
who
the
which is just so cool.
That that would be a cool profession.
Is that Oh my god, I've forgotten his name. The one that doesn't talk.
Teller.
Yeah, that's Teller. That's what Teller is.
I think, yeah, Teller is...
He's an engineer.
I think he does a lot of the creation
because
of the
he's always... When they had that wonderful show called Fool Me.
Fool Us.
Where it was like, if you could... Yeah, if you could...
If you could trick them. If they couldn't work out
what you were doing, you got to go and like perform in Vegas with them on their show, which... Brilliant.
Yeah, and if you enjoy the aspect in this film of them trying to figure out what the prestige is in each of but just it's the various tricks throughout where they're trying to figure out if you enjoy
and they
that
come
aspect
spy
of it,
on each other and everything.
Watch Fool Us.
Yeah,
I think it's called Fool Us.
I think as well. There's
it's
something
really fun for that where the two lads are trying to. Well, Penn is looking at Teller and telling him what he thinks it is, and Teller is nodding back. But as they try and work out what's actually going on, and they're asked to see.
And I also
things.
love the fact that in that they never revealed it. They'd always go up and like show the contestant what they thought the prestige was, and they would either like confirm or deny it. So they still allowed them to continue to go on and have a career. There was a guy on it who had insane like card tricks.
Yeah,
and I think he was like banned from like a lot of casinos and stuff.
A lot of the people who come on to do card tricks
and very close up as well.
But I think it's just because it's like it's at the stage where kind of like there's so many magicians out there and there's so many tricks that if you want to try and do a new trick, because as you see in this,
a lot of what we consider staples already exist. Like they have the woman cut in half or the water escapes. But like
they're
this
all
would have
trying
been like
to
the hate coming into like Harry Houdini, who was very famous for all his like escapes.
But they're all trying to do a new thing, something that somebody's never seen before.
Because the audience is very jaded.
That was 100 years ago. So more than now, if you wanted to make a new trick that nobody's ever seen before, you're probably going to have to do it with cards.
The last big thing I remember was David Copperfield walking through the Great Wall of China, and that was like a ridiculous and like because he made the Statue of Liberty disappear and shit like that. Like
let's not forget. I mean, there was
David Blaine.
Yeah, there was that resurgence of magic with David Blaine and
Chris Angel,
and to an extent Darren Brown, but he then went the whole mentalist route, which was really cool,
really, really interesting. He would have had a field day in this world where they're all playing mind games with each other as well, because so much of this is about deceiving the audience and tricking the eye.
And deceiving each other.
Oh god, yeah.
We should probably do a summary.
Yes.
I did find a summary really hard to write for this one. Yeah. I was like, what do you summarise? Because there's so much going on. Do you summarise just the narrative? Do you summarise just the rivalry? Do you mention the machine that gets created? Because that's massively important.
The women that they take down along their way. Yeah. Everybody that comes into contact with their obsession is either sucked into it to their own destruction.
But yeah, so like what do I
nobody
summarise?
Gets away unscathed.
It's across a whole bunch of timelines. So I was like, I wrote about 4 different summaries and none of them were good. So yeah, after much thought and many attempts, here's what I came up with. Wolverine and Batman are both accomplished stage magicians who are bitter rivals because, flashback, Patrick Bateman accidentally drowned Jean Valjean's wife in a magic trick gone wrong. Now, flash forward, Wolverine works with Black Widow and Alfred to regain his fame but still wants revenge. While, flash further forward, Batman is on trial for murder because, flashback, Jean Valjean goes to visit Ziggy Stardust and Gollum after stealing Patrick Bateman's journal, and in the end we flash forward, find out that Patrick Bateman and Batman are twins, I think, and the Weapon X program made a bunch of clones. I gotta watch this again.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's excellent.
It is. There's 2 Alfreds.
There are 2 Alfreds.
No, there's something about this film and about, I think it's because I grew up watching, what was it, Uncoding the Magician's Secrets.
Oh, Mitch Pileggi becomes hated by the world's magicians.
Yeah. And I was like, yay, Captain Caldwell. Like, where they showed, and it was the masked magician who'd been, like, thrown out of the magician's circle because he was like, revealing all these tricks.
Yeah.
And I loved that.
That though, I think was...
Like, they weren't doing anything massive. Like, it was, like, kind of the standard things of this is how they do the hidden in a box and
it was stuff that was widely known. They kind of bigged up the, like, we can't reveal this because he'll get, like, stabbed by other magicians.
Like,
it was like, shit that people knew anyway.
That, like, most people know at this point. And things with, like, showing how they use, like, hidden mirrors and things like that to to show like, oh, the box is empty, but there's a mirror at a 45-degree angle, which is always very important.
I really like the way that Christopher Nolan shows us those bits in this as well.
Where you see them building some of the pieces or like how they work, and particularly with the bird cage.
Not so much with the bird cage. Well, I like it for when they're actually showing you how they're built and worked. Yeah. But what I like is the little bits where he's just showing you the hints of how they work. Like you just see a fraction of a trapdoor closing. Yeah. That sort of thing.
Well, I really like that you see the trapdoor closing because of the previous thing of make them doubt it. You have to give them something to make them doubt it.
Yeah, it's almost too perfect.
It's too, and the shock on his face.
Yeah.
Just being like, it's been a long time. And then obviously the confidence of the theatre booker to go in and tell your man that, because he's like, I've got the Russian ballet, and he's like, tell him to fuck off.
Yeah, no, you don't.
Yeah, this is what you're doing.
100 nights of this.
Yeah, and this is how much you're going to charge.
It's a beautiful film as well. Like just, the cinematography. Yeah. It's so pretty the whole way through, like the London sets, all the stage sets and everything, and then the kind of the Colorado Springs sets. It's just a really cool film to look at the whole time, and obviously because it's a period drama and it's a director who cares, the sets and all the costuming look fantastic. All the hats, so many hats.
Oh yes, but hat pins are very important.
Yes.
I love the stage outfits that they're in for a lot of it, especially the girls. The corsets and just like with the big hair and the feathers and all the very showgirliness of it, and being very like rich and decadent in a world that's largely very grey.
Well, yeah, it's all black and white. All the guys are in black and white tuxes and hats and everything. Yeah, so
and they're very sharp evening suits with their tails.
I just like how at the kind of not at the start, at the chronological start.
When the initial like triggering event of their hatred of each other.
Yeah, so like the chronological start of their story, when we first see them having like they've only just kind of started working together.
Yeah, they're both working as plants in the audience for another stage magician. So they come up and they tie up the girl who's going to be dunked in the water tank. Yeah, who is Piper Perabo, who was in Coyote Ugly.
Yes.
It's the only thing.
She's not in this for particularly long.
No, horrible.
Yeah. Oof. Drowning. No, thank you.
All I could think in that scene was, why can't one of the younger, fitter, stronger people take the axe off the frail old man?
Because if one of them takes the axe straight away, then they could, they're going to assume that she'll get out and live, and they'll do a show tomorrow night. Yeah. So they're going to need those plants to not be known as plants.
Yeah, but anybody would be like, oh, fucking hell, the guy's coming out and trying to crack it. Let me help you.
When he's already got it in the first place, you know what I mean? Plus, she has to die for the movie.
I know. If one of them knew CPR, she'd probably still be alive.
I don't think CPR was around then.
Yeah. No, that's it, because she wasn't, when you see her kind of, that final, it's only like 3 or 4 seconds before they actually break the glass and get her out.
But just the actual, the first meeting, the fact that you've got the two of them and Cutter all working for this other magician. Yeah. And they have this argument about
his show's like old and
stale. Just that whole argument,
and that they can do better, and they're arguing over which knot to tie, and they're like, you have to be really careful because the knot that he wants to tie her hands with isn't a wet knot. Yeah, it'll swell up. She won't be able to get out of it.
Not the knot itself part of the conversation, but kind of the rest of it about their ambition and their upset with the magician that they're working for and why. Kind of frames all 3 of the characters for how it's going to go forward, because
they're talking about doing a bullet catch
and various things,
and he's like, and Cutter shuts that down immediately because he's like, all it takes is one like happy chappy with a fucking to put something down the barrel.
In that conversation, Cutter is the one who basically has all the knowledge and knows what's kind of smart and what's foolish to do. And Jiri, you can see, is approaching it from the showmanship angle. He's like, he does need to jazz it up. But Borden, a lot of the time, only sees because he doesn't get the showmanship thing, he's just like,
he just sees the trick.
We just have to up the ante on the trick.
Yeah.
The showmanship doesn't matter to him. It's like, well, this trick is basic, but if we do a really complicated knot and she can get out of that, well, ooh, that's even more impressive because they're not so complicated. But Angier's like, well, the audience doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And Cutter's like, well, it's an unnecessary fucking risk. And that's basically the kind of the way the three of them go forward throughout the movie. And it's just one of those really, really nice small bits at the start of a film where you're like, oh, this is one of those films where you will.
Yeah, because they give you this setup for how it's performed. It's like the promise. So that's like the staging where you kind of set out what you're going to do.
Yeah.
The turn.
And the prestige.
And then the prestige. And like, nobody cares about the man that goes into the box.
Yeah, they only care about the man that comes out.
Yep. No, which really niggles at Angier later on.
When he first starts performing the transported man, the improved transported man.
And he's taking his bows under the stage.
Yeah. I love the way Borden can just see through all of Angier's tricks.
Yeah.
Like that, like when Olivia comes to him and he's like, tell me, does he enjoy taking his bows beneath the stage?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't even, the first time he sees it, he's like, oh yeah, it's a double, but I can tell because...
of this, I know Angier so well. And then the same when they're trying to work out if what Borden's doing is using a double, and Olivia's the one that sees it.
Yeah.
And is like, no, because he ends up like losing 2 fingers in a bullet catch gone wrong because he didn't listen.
Yep.
I do love the introduction to the bullet catch scene when he's doing it's like a pub or something, and he's on this little like corner stage and he's Borden's doing the interlocking rings, and it's so menacing and people are heckling him and he's just glaring at them, and then he pulls out the gun and brandishes at everybody and is like, is this what you came to see?
And, it kind of, because like whatever about your big stage shows, but on the streets people aren't going to care about your little small tricks. They're like, they're drunks in pubs. They want to see people like catch bullets and do dangerous shit.
Yeah.
And that's what he's used to. That's where he's come up, obviously. Yeah. And you see in him this need to just always go kind of bigger in everything, even when he starts to get the show, even when he starts to get the showmanship aspect of it, he becomes a performer the whole time. Like, even when he's out in public. Now I'm known, I have to be this all the time. I have to be the professor the whole time.
And Sarah, his wife...
The more fame and wealth they get, the worse it gets for poor Sarah.
Yeah.
Because when they are just in their little crappy apartment, struggling to pay rent, and find out a baby's on the way, that's when they're like most financially dire, it seems. Yeah. That's when they're also kind of happiest. And then he gets them the new apartment and everything starts to go to shit for Sarah. Yeah,
and he starts to get more famous. He gets a new assistant. Well, Angier leaves.
Yeah, well, I mean, the film jumps around an awful lot, so we can jump around the film as well.
Yeah, he starts carrying on an affair. It all starts to get a bit fucked up. Sarah's mental health declines severely. Because it's like, it's fucking whiplash for her.
The 3 things for me that really, really make me feel for Sarah are the 3 bits that are based around some days you mean it, some days you don't.
Oh god! And when the final one,
yeah, the first time she says today. The first time she says it, it's like, you don't mean it today. She said, well, she tells him, some days you mean it when you say you love me, and other days you don't. And I just take that to mean you're more in love with the magic those days.
Yeah.
And today you're more in love with the magic. That's okay, because the days that you do love me are all the more special. And then the next time she mentions it, I think, is it in the restaurant scene?
Yeah.
And she's like, he says, I love you. And she's like, you mean it today. That just makes the days where you hurt more on the days you don't. And then the one that really, really kills me is when she says, she's like breaking down and she's like, tell me you love me. And he's like, no, today's the day that I don't.
Yeah.
And it's just, that poor woman. Like, and Olivia as well, but I don't feel quite as bad for Olivia.
Goes into the situation as the other woman. She knows what she's getting into. She's not like,
to a degree, she knows what she's getting into. She knows she's getting into an affair.
Yeah.
Beyond
but
that,
she's still got more street. Like, her whole life isn't based around him, whereas Sarah's fundamentally is. Like, she's dependent on him. Olivia isn't.
Yeah.
So
And we see that
him,
at the end when Olivia is like, go to him. You two deserve each other.
Yeah.
She does. She walks out of the situation, and I won't say she has a happy ending, but she gets to walk out of the situation. That's her exit from the film.
Yeah, because she gets fucked about around by Angier as well, because she's Angier's assistant first. Because when I've forgotten what his wife's called, the
Piper Parabo.
Yeah, that drowns.
The dead wife.
Julie.
What
knot did you tie? Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't remember what she's called at all.
That being the whole crux of the situation. Because I do enjoy that bit of, if I can see you kissing your wife's leg every night, so can the punchers at the ends of rows 3 and 4.
Well, again, that's one of the other things that's established super early in the film is the importance of keeping your tricks yours.
Yeah.
Because that's part of that conversation as well of Cutter being like, oh, I suppose you've got some great trick, have you? Well, then, why aren't you out there doing it? Or why aren't you selling it?
Yeah. If you think you're so great, how come you're still over here doing this? And it's all like massive egos as well, because they're all like, I could do better than this. Well, then go and fucking do it. Yeah, Cutter tends to very much call them out on their bullshit.
Yeah, I was going to say, Cutter's the one who doesn't have the ego problem. And when he says obsession is a young man's game, I'm assuming he's talking from experience. And he's been there at one point and has managed to come out the other side wiser and still alive.
The conversation he has with Angier about why did he bring on Borden, and he's like, oh, I hired him to go steal somebody else's secrets. So it tells you very much the kind of character that Borden is, even in the early days. Like, he's willing to go and steal tricks from another magician.
Borden's the right guy to send because he can. Yeah. He's the one who figures out what the guy pretending to be Chinese is doing. Yeah. And Angier's like, I couldn't even see it. Borden clocked it straight away. Like
this, and the conversation they have outside when they're watching him go and get into his carriage, and he's like, this is the trick.
Yeah.
This is it. He's in costume. He's in disguise 24/7. And of course he sees it.
Yeah, because he is also.
Yeah.
But the thing with Cutter and he hires Borden to go and steal tricks, and he tells Angier later on that he needs to know, like, if I'm working with you and you want me to be your engineer, I need to know that you can get your hands dirty. When he's talking about the cage, he's like, oh, I don't want to kill birds, and he's like, well, you're gonna have to.
Yeah, because you get that horrible thing about you see how the bird, like the crushed cage is done.
Yeah.
And the little kid crying.
Yeah, and that's why you're kind of happy when you're like, and I suppose it's indicative of Cutter's character when he builds this new cage.
It doesn't hurt the bird.
It doesn't hurt the bird, but he needs Angier to think that it does, to know that he's willing to get his hands dirty.
Yeah.
And ultimately, Cutter is, ironically, he's horrified at just how dirty Angier does end up getting his hands.
He goes too far, and he's like, was that maybe a push too far?
Well, yeah, I'm not saying it's Cutter's fault, but he did get what he asked for in the sense of, Angier got his hands dirty. But it's all, I love all these little things that you pick up on, because watch this film many, many a time as well. Still picking up on little things that I hadn't noticed before, and not in a I need to watch it 10 times to understand it kind of way. I know I made that joke in the summary, but just you appreciate it more
when you get essentially the prestige of the film, and you go back and you keep watching it and you keep watching it, and you think you've gotten a hang on who's who.
That's the hardest.
What's going on
for me? That's the hardest,
and then you're not too sure, and you're like, is that?
Is trying to work out which Borden is which, because Borden has his own ingenue, or called Fallon. Yeah,
and Fallon's a very bizarre character who's just lurking about the place.
He's the one who's the hardest one to gear. Like, what is his deal? The first time you watch
never
it,
hear him. He never speaks.
Deal? Yeah, he never speaks, but he's really, really close with Borden's kid.
Yeah,
but obviously then when you get your answer at the end, it makes perfect sense.
But Sarah's weirded out by him. She doesn't like him. She doesn't like him being close to her.
I think she's figured it out.
Yeah, I think she does figure it out.
That's why she wants to meet Olivia.
Yeah,
and he won't even let her say it out loud. When she says, "I know," he's like, "Shut up!" You don't even say it out loud. You might know, but don't even say it out loud. And I think Olivia might have an inkling, especially when she says what she says about, you could be in another restaurant across town right now saying the exact same things, but about me to a different woman.
Yeah.
So I think she has an idea. But yeah, when you're rewatching it, I think that's still the hardest thing to you can pick up so many little other bits as you watch through, but trying to figure out
which Borden and Fallon and what's going on and why is Borden like this, and yeah, even when
I mean for trying to figure out which, like, I mean, spoilers, which of the two twins is being which at any given time, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's obvious when
one loves Sarah
and one loves Olivia, and you know when Sarah's involved, kind of which one it is based on how they treat her.
And they both love the child, though.
Yes.
Like, that's their kid. Like,
well, either could be the actual father.
Well, I would hope they wouldn't have taken it that far. It would have been harder when, like, having to be in the house all the time with Sarah. But I would have hoped anyway that the one that loved Sarah would spend the time with Sarah, and the one that loved Olivia would spend the time with Olivia.
It doesn't seem that way.
While the other one was being Fallon.
It doesn't seem that way.
Yeah.
It seems like they just switched when
necessary,
and sometimes, yeah, you know, like we see where he's like passing notes, being like, we've got to go do this, we've got to go, the little lady wants to go to the zoo, because
that's how he's doing the transported man, and they can't work out, and they're like, he has to be using a double, and Olivia's like, no, it's the same man, because he's missing the two fingers. He's like, and he pads out his glove. It's the same person, and they can't work it out, and it's driving him and you're absolutely fucking barmy.
But then you see Borden have the same reaction when he can't figure out how Angier is doing his transported man after he comes back from Colorado Springs. Yeah. And
because I do enjoy that whole kind of setup of him giving him the notebook and the cipher being Tesla. And him going, okay, I gotta go see Nikolai Tesla. You built Borden a machine. And Tesla's like, I never built him a machine.
He asked me, I think is what he says.
Yeah.
But then that could equally just have been Borden setting up his plan.
Yeah.
Telegraphing Tesla and being like, will you build me a machine? And then just never contacting him again.
Yeah.
And then this other guy shows up and says, hey, Borden asked you to build a machine. And he goes,
well, no, because you see Borden when Tesla's displaying his equipment in London.
Yeah.
Borden's there.
No, that's what I mean. Like, Borden only needed to make the most cursory, basic of attempts of contacting him for the purpose of a machine to validate the story when Angier does get there, is what I mean.
Yeah, it's the first time I watched this, I was like, Nikolai Tesla, okay. And then it being the wonderful David Bowie, and I was like, this is so perfect.
He's just a wonderful freak, is David Bowie. Yeah. Well, was David Bowie, but I really enjoy him in this.
Yeah.
He's really, really fun, as it's just the way he plays him, like, and the way they've written Nikolai Tesla. He's the Eastern mystic, you know, the shaman or whatever at the top of the mountain, the Buddhist monk that you have to go and ask one question from, but he's the science version of it in a film that's about magicians, and it's just perfect.
And he's and it's like he's created actual magic, because he's like magic and science are the same thing, and he has some...
But when it's that pilgrimage that... It's Homer going to the top of the mountain with a poo to ask the 3 questions to the guy who has the actual magical knowledge.
Are you the real Quickie Mart Master?
Really? Thank you.
Come again.
But it's that, but flipped. It's a magician going to see a scientist because he's got actual science at the top of his mountain.
And I love how the people, like the innkeep in Colorado, or the hotel keeper in Colorado Springs, is like, yeah, we like Tesla around here, like, so they're really protective of him.
It's the opposite of the don't go up there as well.
Yeah.
You know, in horror films, don't go up the hill.
Yeah, don't go up the hill. It's like, oh, you're going up to see the Mad Wizard.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we like him here. He gave us electricity.
Yeah. He doesn't put extra butts on monkeys.
I really enjoy Ali as well.
Yeah.
His whole...
It's nice to actually see Andy Serkis.
Yes. But
he's so jolly, and he's so like, so you're a magician. And he's like, oh, you're the great dancer. I saw your show like 7 times.
he's the Igor in this situation, kind of.
But like the lovable cuddly.
Yeah.
Like he also kind of like smooths the way, because Tesla is quite an interesting character who could be very off-putting, because when he's like, yep, thank you, goodbye,
he could definitely be brash.
So Ali's there to kind of smooth the way for him as well.
Yeah, when they bring out the cat. Copernicus?
Copernicus, yeah.
And
He was like, that's
Ali's
my
like,
cat.
whatever happens to this cat is on you, Professor.
I love his little gold chain, his collar. He's so snazzy.
The reveal of all the hats then.
Ah.
It's just the whole trip to Tesla is just...
I love the trip to Tesla. I really do. And
it's like a little mini film with it, or just a little mini side story within.
I also like the fact that you get as well, because the great rivalry between Edison and Tesla. Well, mostly Edison's great jealousy of Tesla. And you get that coming into this as well. So you get to see the obsession of other men at the same time.
Well, particularly with where Tesla has the show. And Edison has his own plant being there, who's like,
oh, this is so dangerous. Blah, 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 blah.
And you see him
direct
later on.
Current is so much safer. No, it's not.
But it's the equivalent of their going
in
and Borden's rivalry of going in and sabotaging one another.
Because you have Angier. So Borden ties a knot that Angier's wife can't slip.
Yeah,
she drowns. Angier gets somewhat of revenge by fucking up Borden's bullet catch, and he loses
shooting him. Yeah,
he loses 2 fingers. So Borden gets his own back on Angier by ruining his bird trick.
Just as he's
and crushing his fingers and a rather rich lady's fingers in a cage. And then he ends up breaking his leg as well when he moves the crash mat, when he gets a hold of Root, when he goes down through the trap door. Yeah, well, he moved the crash mat as well.
Whenever one is on the up, the other one is on the way down. So after the cage smash thing, Angier is on his way out and Borden starts to go on his way up, because that's when he debuts his transported man.
The real transported man, yeah.
And then Cutter gets Olivia and they make their transported man.
Yeah, for Angier.
And that's, where they get Root, and then Borden comes back in and gets Angier's leg broken. And tries to get everybody to come across the street to his show.
Yeah, there's just too much magic in here for mine.
So Angier sends Olivia.
Actually, that moment when he comes up through the trapdoor and out the door and he's like, ooh.
Whoopsie.
Oh no. And then he goes to open the door again and run through, and it's just a wonderful little bit of comedy, and it's like, Borden's getting it now. Borden wouldn't have been able to do that.
But that's before Olivia goes to him, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think that's the moment when they're like, Borden's learned.
Yeah.
He's finally realised what he's missing.
And then, when Olivia gets sent to steal Borden's secrets and she gets the diary.
Yeah.
And then he manages to get the cipher for it, and that's how he heads off to...
Well, he gets the cipher for it by kidnapping Fallon and burying him alive.
Yeah.
Which is about the only time he ever gets, one properly up on Borden.
That's
and
when...
you have that great freak out later on when he's like, I almost lost something very precious today.
That's where we end up in the horrible scene in the restaurant where he's horrible to Sarah. But Angier tries to bring Cutter with him to America, and Cutter's like, no, the obsession is a young man's game. Off you go, not going to America. And that's how we
it would be a sea voyage.
Yeah. No, that's it. I guess it's not like just hopping on a plane. But the whole kind of Tesla side of it is largely self-contained, and I think that's why I enjoy it so much. Yeah. Also, Tesla's got some great lines like, exact science is not an exact science. But when he does come back then, their cycle just starts again.
Oh, it's so funny. Like, the second Angier comes back and he finds Cutter.
Yeah.
And he's like, I have a new trick, and it has to be flashy enough to make Borden come out.
Yeah.
And he's like, really? Really?
Like, we're not over it.
Yeah. Like, you went to America for 2 years.
Yeah. Come back, with all this money, and you're just not gonna let it die.
Yeah. And I like the fact that all the way through it as well, it hints at the fact that Angier has a separate identity, that he has a wealthy family.
Well, he says that early on to his wife. He says, I promised my family I wouldn't
embarrass them.
Yeah. And we find out at the end that the Lord Caldlow is who he was all along.
Yeah. Also rocking a Colonel Sanders. Many a Colonel Sanders in this.
But I like how Borden, one of Borden is willing to give up.
Yeah.
He's the only one who is, and thankfully I'm assuming he's the one who gets...
Tied the knot.
No, he's the one who gets to walk away at the end.
Yeah.
Because you know when Borden is desperately trying to figure out how Angier is doing the real transported man with the machine, and he just can't, and there's that montage of him like screaming at Fallon, going to the show, coming back, trying to work it out, and he
going
can't.
Up and examining it on stage.
And then he says, "That's it, right, we're done.
Yeah.
We're done with him. He's won, it's over.
Yeah.
We're just going to move on. We're going to make a new trick and that's it." I always thought that was just kind of trying to convince himself, but I think the one that's saying that means it.
Yeah.
And the one who he's saying it to
is the one that's
is the one that's still obsessed, goes to the show, tries to figure it out by getting on stage, gets caught, gets himself framed, and is the one then that we see in prison get hung. Yeah. Because before he gets hung, he says, "I'm sorry about Sarah.
Yeah.
I never meant to hurt her."
Yeah.
So that's the one
that loved
Olivia. And it's also the one who went off and did what we saw. So the one who loved Sarah is the one who was saying, No, we're done. And that's the one who shoots Angier and gets the kid back. Yeah. So he's the only one who gets kind of closer to a happy ending. Yeah. He's the one who actually did try and give up the obsession. And I'm like, it's about as close to a happy ending as this film is prepared to give us, I suppose.
Because it is like Borden's life when you find out, and it's like that they each lived half a life, and the lengths that they went to continue it.
It was enough for them,
but not enough for the two women.
But yeah, not enough for the two women, and I think he eventually realizes how unfair it was to them. And it's like how, like, that's an incredible length to go to. I know people do go to, like, that's his obsession, I suppose. Like. But that's just, I think it's just like, at what point did you decide?
The decision to do that really, really early on, because none of them ever knew. So it had to have been before, like, he met any of them.
My guess is that the point at which they decided they wanted to be a magician.
Yeah.
Or that they both, like, loved magic and wanted to do it. They thought of this great idea and then went, right, we need to just leave town, reinvent ourselves and start with new names, because... That's the whole thing about why Fallon will never be able to get custody of...
Yeah, because he's a man with no history.
Because he's a man whose past is almost as obscure as your own.
Yeah.
So they're both of them just completely reinvented themselves, and Alfred Borden is an entirely made-up character who has no past, because their real past is as twin brothers who grew up to be, whatever, 18 or 20, and then... That's what I reckon they did, But it's a severe choice to make. It's one like Angier's identity change is one thing. He still has the money. Its own. All he's done is had to change his name to go and play at being a magician. Is probably how his family views it. But he's not had to sacrifice for it. Whereas Borden has. Yeah. Which I suppose is that's their fundamental difference, and that's why Angier is the showman. He comes from money. He comes from like class, and then seeing big fancy things. Whereas Borden has come from hardship and sacrifice, and to him, like, flashy isn't necessarily better, but bigger and more complicated and more dangerous is better.
Yeah, because everything he's given up as well to do these things.
And their final conversation reflects that as well.
Yeah.
When he's saying, you never sacrificed anything. Like, look, he explains everything that Borden explains everything that both Bordens sacrificed. And says that Angier never sacrificed anything, and he's like, wrong, and I'm not just talking about my wife, because
I didn't know if
the wife wasn't a sacrifice in the sense of
the man on the stage or the man in the tank.
Yeah, like that whole thing of every time I got in to do that, I could die.
Yeah.
One of me was going to survive, one of me is going to die, and I don't know which one I am.
Yeah.
And that I like. That's one of the more fun clone tropes that I enjoy. Where neither knows, like, there's no, not that they both think they're the real one, but there's no way of distinguishing which is the real one, because they both have the exact same memories, and you don't know if that machine transports the original and creates a copy at the same point, or does it
work in the same way as the Professor's one, where it makes two half sizes of the...
No, it makes an exact copy, but you don't know, is the one that appears somewhere else the exact copy and it keeps you where you are, or does it transport you and make the copy in the machine where you were?
Dunno. But it is different. It is different to the book.
Yes, yeah, I believe the book is quite different.
The book just creates transports the consciousness into a new body, but leaves the old one behind as like a husk.
Oh, right.
And that's what is stored.
That's much less of a sacrifice.
Yeah.
I think I much prefer, for the purposes of this anyway,
Yeah.
the story that they try to tell here, I much prefer it because, you know, when he says that was his sacrifice of, you know, potentially dying every single night, and Borden's like, well, here you are about to die now, so it was all for nothing. I love Angier's response there, or Caldlow's response of, what? Like, are you insane?
Yeah.
It wasn't all for nothing. Like, you really never got it? Like, it wasn't about, well, it was about me trying to one-up you, but it wasn't just about that. Like,
it was about the audience.
It's about the audience and trying to, like, if you can really fool them. Like, the world is shit. And everybody knows the world is shit. But if you can really, really fool them, even for a second, and make them fool themselves, they'll believe in actual magic.
Yeah.
And then the look on their faces is the reward. It is the everything. And it's just a really bittersweet moment because the whole film, you kind of, not that you want either of them to win, but you kind of feel like maybe Borden is the lesser of two evils. Angier is the really obsessed one, and the one who's making the really shitty decisions, sending the woman who loves him away to be his spy.
Yeah.
That sort of shit. But then at the end, when you find out that Borden has been two people pretending to be one and ruining women's lives as a result, and Angier, okay, yeah, his not that the means justify the ends or anything, he went about it a pretty shitty way, but his motives were like, I just want to make people happy.
Yeah.
It's unexpected.
Also, as well, Angier has the luxury of coming from wealth and security.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Which makes his reasoning of, I'm doing it for the audience and for the thrill, as opposed to Borden, who's doing it for financial security and wealth, the thrill and the satisfaction of the audience. He wants every time, because he wants to make it bigger and flashier and more dangerous, to be the one that people go to see, to keep the audiences.
Yeah, I think for him,
he's not doing it to give joy to the audiences. He's doing it to secure an audience that will
the audience.
Want
the audience for him are a means to the end.
Yeah,
whereas they are the end for Angier.
But that again reflects the fact that they have very different.
Oh, absolutely,
like,
yeah, and it's and personalities, and that it just finalizes it there at the end of the film, and I love how it does, because it's not, I'm not saying Angier deserves to live or anything like that. It's just a bittersweet moment.
But he does try
to
to steal his child.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's not saying he deserves to live. It's a bittersweet moment because he had been more or less largely the bigger villain the whole way through, and then he has this very kind of pure moment then at the end, and I really, really I think it's just a really nice moment at the end of the film.
Yeah, no, I do enjoy the bit in the prison because they're like, oh, we have a magician in prison I've forgotten his name, Harris, as the prison warden.
Jamie Harris, Jared's brother, yeah. Oh, when he locks him up.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. There are a few moments of levity in it, that being one of them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it is it's not a serious film, but not a heavy film.
Yeah.
Super enjoyable the whole way through. Like, really keeps your I don't want to say keeps you guessing, but like just has your attention the whole way through, because there's tons of little mysteries, but they give you the answers to just enough of the small little mysteries as you go through to keep you satisfied, and you're never spending the whole time questioning like, ooh, what's the big mystery, because there's so many little mysteries and they are giving you bits of information as you come along.
Yeah. And you get the big showpieces as well when they're performing. And you get to see like the spectacle of it all, especially when Angier comes back with his new show.
Yeah.
And you're seeing parts of it, like, and the first thing he has in it is a water escape, and it's like the ramp, like he starts with a water escape and ramps up to this big, like, real transported man, and the flair and the fashion and everything to do with it, and him having the blind stage hands and the secrecy surrounding it.
Which to the outsider and to even to somebody like Cutter, he just thinks that's all part of the show. Like, you know, this is such a big secret thing that, like, you know, oh, even the stage hands are blind. That's just part of the publicity.
Well, that's like one of the things he says is, oh, blind stage hands, nice touch.
Yeah. So what about any favourite moments then?
Highlights? I really enjoy the whole setup to the birdcage incident.
Yeah.
From start to finish, showing him how it works, where it hooks on, the contraption that he has to wear that's like...
It's a real one.
Is it?
Yeah, it was developed by
some...
I can't remember the guy's name, but he used it successfully for many years, and his son used it as one of his...
tricks.
Yeah, it's a real contraption that...
Yeah, with the big like lever on the back. Like, as you see him running off stage and going and putting it on and getting like cranked into it.
Well, it looks like there's a lot of pressure involved in that, because that thing disappears quickly.
Yeah, it's enough to break a couple of fingers when it all goes wrong. But they're like, oh, this is new, the bird is safe, because everyone knows that they kill the birds.
Yeah.
So that being the thing that wins over the theatre owner of, okay, because he's like, I'm not paying somebody to slaughter birds on my stage.
Yeah, and everybody knows now. Like, I like that even we see that, there is a need for the magicians to keep upping it, because
people work
audiences figure it out.
Yeah.
Even then to the point that you mentioned earlier of when Angier does show up with a trick that's just so amazing and he has to be told, no, like, put a little
it's
bit
too
of...
good. Put a bit of stank on it.
Because,
we all like a bit of ratchet. Like, if it's too good, they won't believe it.
Yeah.
It has to be...
Yeah, so
you gotta give them that little bit of something.
The audiences are savvy.
The trapdoor.
Yeah.
Which is that little moment of you seeing the trapdoor closing is enough to go, how the fuck did he do that?
And of course, what's beautiful is the trapdoor isn't actually part of the trick so much as it is a means to hide the trick.
Yeah.
But no, I think for me, there's no like individual, like one highlight, if you get me. Like, there's no like kind of one set piece that I really appreciate. I do
enjoy the hotel owner going, I didn't feel there was a need to tell Edison's men about the box.
I love, well,
just,
for me...
there was something about the way he says that, it cracks me up. The judge is Niles from The Nanny.
Yeah.
Being like, oh, are you wasting my time?
A
little bit sassy. There's like a lot of very rich side characters in this.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. There's no like one bit where I'm like, oh, I really love that scene.
Yeah.
There are great scenes in it, don't get me wrong. But for me, it's like the characters, the performances are great. I love Bowie as Tesla. I love that whole Tesla aside, not just because it's Bowie, but just because it's this whole other thing going on inside the film.
And it's got this like mystic, because it's in Colorado Springs in the winter, it's very foggy.
It's got this weird atmosphere.
But the first thing you notice is that there's electric lighting, which is relatively new. Like, you get that brilliant moment where he gets off the train and he's standing looking at the lamppost, and it's very Narnia-esque.
Yeah.
And like I just really appreciate the warmth the people that they have there for Tesla, and that it's like just that little thing of he's been good to Colorado Springs. And we're very sad to see him go, and the implication being that Edison's men are dicks.
They strong-armed him out, like.
Yeah, which they did. Like, the current war was, like, very famous. The elephant did not die during the current war. It was 10 years later.
Poor Topsy.
Poor Topsy the elephant. But I enjoy that they made, because they made Tesla, even though he was like very famously eccentric, they did make him very warm and likable, because it would be very easy to make him kind of cold and weird. Yeah. Because like the man did enjoy like sitting in a Faraday cage in the middle of his lab, so people would leave him alone.
They've made him charming in this, like eccentrically charming. Off-putting, yes, but there is a charm to him.
But he's so smart. And then the like exuberance of Ali.
Ali's great fun as well. He's a nice addition, as you say. He kind of softens it out.
What's in my pocket?
That was a nice little addition as well. Yeah. Little Gollum shout out. But no, for me, there's no like one thing that like really stands out in that sense that I might talk about in other films that we've covered. It's just all of it. The performances, the sets, the narrative, the fact that it jumps around.
That last little reveal on the ending.
All of it. It's just, I really, really love this film.
Even the opening, when they're explaining the 3 steps to the trick, and he's showing it with the bird to the little kids. Yeah. And as he's explaining how it happens.
And that is that's the very, as we discovered then, that's the very, very end. Like, it's just so well put together, and it's not like a film that I would normally go for, because it's technically a period drama. A tiny bit of an element of sci-fi in there, but it's just one of those like really intriguing films. It's full of intrigue as well, but just like when you're watching it, it's just like, it's so fascinating. Yeah, it really, really draws you in.
This world as well, where it's kind of a seedy underbelly that they're working in, this like secret world of magicians and subterfuge, and they're all spying on each other, and like it's like modern day espionage, but like in magicians. And
it's the corporate espionage of the day. Like,
and like that still goes on to this day. And it's just interesting to see how these men like graft
Yeah.
They're living like...
No, it is. It's one of my favourite films, I think. Definitely one of my favourite Nolan films, if not of all time, kind of.
Yeah, no.
It's just so good.
And it's so rewatchable. Like, it's to a stupid degree.
Yeah.
It does have moments that are incredibly heartbreaking, but...
Mostly to do with Sarah.
Yeah. That's because of their actions as well throughout it.
Even Cutter's kind of devastation at how far Angier has fallen.
Yeah.
But he kind of gets his own... Not gets his own back, but with the whole...
He sets things to right.
The going home thing.
Yeah.
You know, when his wife had drowned, he tells this story about how somebody he knew drowned, or
was
nearly drowned, and told him it was like going home. And then when he finds out what Angier has done, he's like, oh, remember what I told you before? That was a lie.
He said it was like incredibly painful.
Yeah, it was the worst agony.
But he realises he's been had as well, so he tries to set things right when he's...
Yeah.
Because that's the whole, is like, you can't know who the Lord is, but if you happen to meet him, maybe it'll answer some of your questions. So I feel like the solicitor is kind of trying to nudge things. The solicitor, Owens... does feel like a bit of an injustice has been committed.
If he's a family solicitor, he'd probably have a fairly fucking good idea of what's happened.
Yeah.
I would assume Angier was smart enough to hire somebody who wasn't a family solicitor and didn't know him personally, but hey, is there any point in even asking if there's anything we dislike about this film?
Very little.
Because I don't think there is.
No. But Scarlett Johansson's accent at points, but... You know, what can you do?
I'd literally have to be like searching for things that I don't like.
Christian Bale uses his own accent. Michael Caine uses his own, which is hilarious because I love Michael Caine's like Cockney.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman, because he's masquerading as an American, so when he puts on the British one, the very bit push. I'm like, Caldwell.
Yeah.
It's a bit, sorry, what now? And look at the state of you.
Yeah, he does break into it when he's at his wife's funeral, though.
Yeah.
Which I like as a touch of just the his character fading.
Yeah,
you know,
they're all pretending to be people. They aren't. It's fabulous.
It's just an excellent film about obsession and magic. Kind of like the art of magic, you know,
but
stage
it's
magic.
The same as anything else. Like when you have two people like obsessed with doing the same thing. Like that's why I really enjoyed the Tesla Edison insert that's in this, because that like the current war was.
Oh hey, look,
like in fairness, Edison was like kind of on a one-sided rivalry because I don't really think Tesla was that bothered by him.
Rivalries make great stories.
Yeah, and
this is also a great story about a rivalry.
Yeah.
It's just fucking excellent. Go and rewatch it if you haven't watched it in a while. Or even if you watched it recently.
It is very long though. But it doesn't feel
just past the 2 hours, so it's not too bad.
But it doesn't.
I think we've gotten used to 90-minute films.
No, I think because of the way it moves backwards and forwards through the story as well, and you're getting these little bits told to you. Yeah. It doesn't feel long. Because you never, like, it's really hard to tell if you're going to be like, if you're halfway through or not.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't feel the length that it is, which is always a good thing when you're talking about films that pass the 2 hour mark. But just such a good film. Go and rewatch it. Thank you for joining us as ever. Next week we are going to be talking basketball. Woo! For our 99th episode. Well, I mean, we've done more than 99 podcasts, but our 99th movie episode, almost at 100 finally. Your mom has sex with Squig. Oh, the fake outs. Basketball. Yeah, so next week that's what we're talking about. Yay. As ever, thanks for joining us, guys. If you want, in the meantime, you can head back and listen to some of our previous episodes or our other podcast, MonoRants The Boys, or you can come and chat with us on Twitter at RantsMono, on Instagram at MonoRants_the_boys. We're Blue Sky as well, where we're MonoRants, and you can send your own rants to monorantspodcast@gmail.com, and we'll chat next week. Bye bye.